Hey guys, this is Matthew Scooby. Welcome back to my channel. So, this is speculation based on internet rumors and things that the actors have said, and this is how I think that Game of Thrones Season 8 is going to end. Now, granted, everything I say is based on rumors and based on things George R. R. Martin said, based on things the actors said, and also the way the show ends is probably not how good the books are going to end. So take this with a grain of salt. So let's get to the Greyjoys. So first of all, based on what George R. R. Martin said, is that Game of Thrones is going to end on a bittersweet note. Now, like I said, Game of Thrones, the book, and the show are going to go off in a completely different direction. But if the show is going to try to be faithful to the books, that means not everyone's going to have a happy ending. Now, for the Greyjoy storyline, in order for this to be a bittersweet ending, which means it's not going to be a bad ending or a good ending, is that the Greyjoy storyline is not going to end very well. Yara's probably going to die. Euron is probably going to be getting away with all the crimes that he's committed. He's probably going to kill all the Greyjoys, and he's probably going to become king of Westeros. He's probably going to take over the Iron Throne based on some internet rumors that I've heard. And he's probably going to end up pissing off Daenerys Targaryen, and he's going to end up getting away on his boat, or ship, whatever you want to call it, the Silence. So, based on the bittersweet ending theory, I think the Greyjoy storyline is not going to end very well. So, you could take what I say with a grain of salt. This is just based on internet rumors and what I've heard, also based on what George R. R. Martin has said. So, I get the feeling that the Greyjoy storyline is not going to end on a very good note. So now let's get to the Lannisters, before I get to Tyrion. Now, the prediction is that Cersei will die by her younger brother, which could very well mean Jaime Lannister, which is probably because he was born right after Cersei, making him the younger brother. Now, the circumstances of him killing Cersei is probably the same as the Mad King. She's probably planning on destroying Westeros by using wildfire. Jaime's not going to like that. He's going to end up killing her. He's going to end up taking the Black. This is how I think Jaime's story is going to end. He's going to end up being the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. So, Jaime's story is about redemption, right? He's done a lot of bad things in his life. But as we see through the show, that he has progressed to become a pretty decent character. And he's tried to redeem himself over and over by keeping his honor. So, I think in order for Jaime's story to end, he's going to end up being the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. And that's just how I think his story's going to end. Again, it's not going to be a good ending or a bad ending. It's just going to end up on a bittersweet note. Now, one of the most popular theories so far in the books and in the show is that the Night King is a Stark. So, I have some interesting theories about this, and I think that Bran is going to end up being the Night King based on some internet rumors, or what's going to happen is that the Night King is a Stark, and since Bran can basically predict the past, the present, and the future, because he has the third eye Raven, he's going to end up somehow getting possessed by the Night King, and he's going to end up dying. So Bran's story is that he's basically the Professor X of this story. He can basically see everything. He can't read minds, but he can tell what's happening, why it happened, and who did it. And in order for Bran's story to end, it's probably going to end up with him being possessed by the Night King, and that the Night King is going to turn out to be a Stark. And this is based on things that George R. R. Martin said when he said that Game of Thrones is going to have one last plot twist that no one's going to see coming. And the internet theory is that that plot twist is that the Night King is a Stark. And when he dies, Bran's going to die, and a lot of the other Starks are going to die. So again, this is based on internet rumors, but based on things George R. R. Martin has said. And since Game of Thrones has had several good plot twists, and since George R. R. Martin has stated that Game of Thrones has one more plot twist, that this is probably the most logical plot twist. So now let's get on to Gendry. Now I get the feeling Gendry is going to survive. He's going to end up taking the Baratheon throne. So that's basically all I wanted to say about him. I just get the feeling that he's going to survive Game of Thrones. So let's just leave it at that. Now let's get on to Varys and Tyrion. Now this is based on things I've heard on the internet through leaked scripts. Now if we saw what happened in Season 7, is that Season 7 had a lot of leaked scripts and they ended up turning out to be true. And in one of these leaked scripts, it turns out that Varys was planning on portraying Tyrion and everyone else, which in turn causes Tyrion to tell Bronn to execute Varys. So, and also this is based on what Melisandre said in Season 7, when she said, "I mean to die in this strange country, as do you." And seeing that Melisandre can basically predict the past, present, and future, kind of like Bran, I can very well see that Varys is not going to survive the end of Game of Thrones. But I do see that Tyrion, since Tyrion is Martin's favorite character, one of his favorite characters, he's going to end up surviving. And again, the show and the book has gone in a completely different direction. But Peter Dinklage as Tyrion has turned out to be a fan favorite in the show. Granted, he has gone downhill in the past season as not really doing much, but I think in order for Tyrion's story to end, it would have to end up with him going back to Castle Rock and opening up a brothel. So I really hope that Tyrion survives. I think he's going to survive based on what Martin said and based on the fan base. So I don't really have too much worry about Tyrion. Now, this is based on something Maisie Williams has said, when she said that she is the last girl standing, which basically suggests that Sansa is basically going to die at the end of Game of Thrones, which ends up meaning that Arya is probably going to be the only surviving Stark. So, as I said, Bran's probably going to die and Sansa's going to die, which leaves Jon Snow. So Jon Snow is basically going to be the wild card in Season 8. We don't know if he's going to live or die. He's probably going to die fighting the Night King, or he's probably going to end up dying of old age after the fight of the Night King, after he rules Westeros. But, based on things that George R. R. Martin has said, and again, the show and the books are a completely different direction, I understand that, but the person that's going to sit on the Iron Throne in the books, based on what Martin said, is not going to be a POV character, which means it's not going to be Jon Snow. But in the show, it could be different. In the show, he could end up killing the Night King, and he could end up living and sitting on the Iron Throne and ruling Westeros, and making all the Westeros independent. But I still could see that Jon Snow is probably going to die. There's a 50-50 chance. He's the wild card of this show. Either he's going to survive Game of Thrones, or he's not. He's going to die by the Night King, or he's going to die shortly after. One of the two. But I definitely see that Arya is going to be the only surviving Stark. Or at least she's going to survive in this scenario. And now, let's get to probably the least fan favorite theory. For everyone's favorite character, well, one of the favorite characters is Daenerys Targaryen. Now, Daenerys was supposed to live in the books, based on what Martin has said, but Martin ends up changing his mind a lot, and again, the book and the show are completely different. But based on things that I've seen on the internet, and based on things the actors have said, it basically suggests that Daenerys is not going to survive the end of Game of Thrones. She's not. It's probably going to end up with her dying at some point. She's probably going to end up destroying King's Landing and realizing the error of her ways, or she's probably going to end up dying by the Night King, which in turn pisses off Jon Snow, or she's going to die sometime after giving birth to a baby. I don't see her surviving very much, but as I see in some of the production quality on the pictures on the internet, Daenerys is still wearing her same outfit throughout Season 8, which probably suggests that she's probably going to die in that season, because I don't see her wearing any other outfit throughout the whole season, because you would think if someone were to survive throughout the years, they would change different outfits. So this is based on her outfit and based on things I heard on the internet, that she's probably not going to survive. So I'll leave it at that. So guys, this is my theory based on what I thought of how Game of Thrones is going to end. So you can agree to disagree with me, it doesn't really matter. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like my channel, because it helps out my little channel a lot. And I made this video on a whim because I just really wanted to talk about the show, because I just finished watching Game of Thrones Season 7. And I just finished reading the books, and I cannot wait for Winds of Winter to finally come out. But by the time it comes out, I don't think it will matter, because I just want to see how this show ends. But hopefully, based on what Martin has said, it's going to end up on a bittersweet note. So Game of Thrones is not going to have a good ending or a bad ending. It's just going to be more in the middle. So anyways, guys, I got to go. I'll see you later. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.